Hi guys, how's it going? I'm Enrique, or you can call me Sketch Monster. That is my pen name. Just like kind of a dorky little name I have for the internet. This video is going to be all about how to draw hands. The hands of a monster, essentially. It's one of probably more I'm going to be doing, and this one is actually a re-upload from my other channel because I've talked about it before. I'm actually moving. I'm getting rid of my Sketch Monster channel for the most part and kind of putting all the videos over here and then slowly deleting them off that channel. So that's why there's a lot of like monster type stuff. This is actually the last monster video I drew, and it's all about the topic of hands. One more thing, I'm making videos almost 5 days a week right now for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and I'm gonna keep doing that as long as I possibly can. Please support my Patreon. I am busting my butt out here, really just kind of putting up videos to try to get more engaged, kind of like just kind of learn, and like what I want to do, my goal is to fill out the library of things that I have on here. I'm going to start background videos, and I want to do every single topic I can possibly think about. That's the goal right now. But because of that, I got a lot of freelance on the side. That'd be so much better if I didn't have all that freelance. So that's why the Patreon's up. Go check it out. The link is below. It's below here. So that's pretty much it. Let's get into the video.
So a couple of things about the hand itself. I am going to talk about it real quick, a couple of tips. So when you're drawing the hand, I really like breaking it up into segments. I think of the actual, this portion of the knuckle right here, I think of that as a square. And then the opposing thumb that comes off it as this kind of triangular, I don't know how, shape, kind of a warped triangle. But those are the shapes that go through my mind, and I'm thinking of that. So I think of the whole thing in segments. Thinking of it in as blocks, let's say, will help you understand the hand a lot more. So it's just something to kind of go over. Another thing with hands is, let's say you have a hand lying flat. Normally the way I like to do it is the middle finger is the longest, but the knuckles kind of go up like that in a way as well. I like to draw them that way. But yeah, the knuckle's the tallest one right here, and it kind of slopes down. The middle knuckle. Another thing about the hand, there was a couple of people asked me about it. So if you turn the hand over, you can look at these fatty pads. Essentially, there's a big one here for the thumb, one right here along the side, and there's kind of this area as well, because you're kind of grabbing stuff with this soft part. Think about how it functions. So let's say you have a hand. You have this fat pad here, the one on this side as well. When you're putting your hand down, you squish. You think of those, and one right here, which is a little bit more of the bone, really. But you're thinking of these large shapes. You think of these large fat pads too when you're shading, when you're kind of going over these shapes. But I'm just talking about the general construction of the hand. Let me go over and kind of draw a hand for you. So let me do this out of my head. Also, if you ever need reference, obviously you have your own hand that you can guide. And if you need it from another angle, you can take a picture of your hand. I don't know why some people don't do that. Sharpening that real quick. So let's draw. Let's see. Just a hand. Just any hand in any position. Or I kind of go over it as I'm talking about it. So first thing I think of is the knuckle line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Think of that middle knuckle, where that's going. I'm thinking of these knuckle lines. I'm thinking of the fingers. The middle knuckle will also have the longest fingers, so that segment will be longer than this segment. Fat pad over here. Fat pad along the side here. You have the radius and the ulna bone. The radius bone, I like to think, the radius is on the inside and the ulna is on the outside. The way I like to think of that is you can make the letter R if you were to kind of like, I don't know, mess with your hand a little bit. I don't know, that's the way I remember it. Those are the two bones of the wrist, radius and ulna. The ulna is the outside bone, and you can see that stick out a lot of people. One second. Pull these down a little bit. It's gonna have these fingers extend a lot. Let me erase this. I'm using kneaded eraser to erase parts that I don't need. Alrighty, so I'm going to this little fat pad on the side here. Excuse me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the knuckle here. I know the knuckle is going to be a very hard portion that extrudes out, which is called a landmark. You know, down along this fatty tissue area. Same thing along here. So a lot of the hand, and let me kind of go over one more segment with the construction, is there's a fat pad, like a fatty portion, then there's the bone. Fatty portion, then the bone. You're looking at, like right here, fat, like kind of a bulging portion, the bone, bulging, you know, this midsection, bone, midsection, bone, midsection, bone. Sorry about that, not fatty portion, midsection. So you see this corner right here? That's sticking out. And then it goes straight here, dips in. You have this other corner. In terms of counting how many, obviously how many folds there is, you can just use your own hand. That's the easiest. Inside is all fat pad that squishes against each other. This squishiness. You want to draw that in there, that squishy portion. Since this is a monster hand, I'm going to put some long fingernails. It's right into the wrist. Normally, bigger, scarier creatures have bigger wrists. If you look at the Hulk or, you know, like the werewolf, depending, you know, some of them will have really thick wrists. Let's shade a little bit on the wrist. I'm using a regular pencil, by the way. I'm using a 6B. And a graphite, which is just a regular pencil. This hard portion, and then it goes soft. You want to throw a little bit of the bone in there in the wrist. Again, you can kind of look at your own hand for reference. And this one goes this way. Same thing right here, the squishiness, because as the fingers fold, there's this crunching together. Here. Same thing over here. This side. Fingernails on the other side. Erase some of the area around it. If you want more dimension on it, you can throw maybe more of the bone, you know, because there's all this like information here that can be filled by other things. And that's pretty much the end of it, really. Oops. But that's a few suggestions, a few tips on how to draw a monster hand, you know what I mean, which is generally, essentially just a human hand with long nails. If you were to talk about, you know, more structure, just to kind of add on to that, if you look at the hand, the digits at least, they create a distinct shape. There's this shape, and then that last shape is kind of the longest. Something like that. A lot of it is like visually looking at these shapes and kind of memorizing the visual, kind of the way it goes. And in terms of how they bend and stuff, you can use your own hand, honestly.
Thanks a lot for watching the video. I appreciate it. You guys are great. If you guys, like I said earlier, if you guys want to follow up to this, let me know, and maybe I can go over like, you know, more lion paws, things of that. Like think of any different kind of hand a monster would have. Tentacles, maybe like crab claws. Just give me a shout out, guys. Give me a shout out in the comments. Tell me, and I'll try to make it happen. The next videos, you can check that out over here on this side. Don't forget to subscribe and press that little bell icon, because then you'll be notified of everything that comes in. So see you later, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.